Hi guys, another charity shop episode, trying to catch up on a backlog. The little train in the picture is not what I've just bought in the charity shop, but those of you who watch lots of my videos know that I do love these little clockwork wind up toys with the clear plastic and all the gears on show, so that when you wind it up by putting a key in there, you can see all the gears turning as it goes along. So today, when I saw this, at first I thought it was another one of these, but it isn't. It's built around the same principle. Lots of nice gears to see them turning, but it's electric. Need some batteries in there. We got on off, and we got forwards and reverse. It cost me, I think I paid £1.99 for it. I don't know if we can actually read the details there. Looks like it's got a speaker under there. Possibly. So I popped into Poundland and bought some batteries because it's these size C, I think. Looks like that sort of size. Plus minus. Minus. Plus. Okay, shut. On. Not a lot happening. Off. Not a lot happening. So, looks like we're going to be taking this one apart, doesn't it? How easy will that be? I can see some screws in there, they look a little bit rusty. Okay, I'll have a little fiddle with it first, just in case the battery terminals need cleaning. But if that doesn't fix it, then we'll have to take it apart and have a look. I've just noticed if I move this forwards and backwards, that light comes on, so the power's getting through. But the motor's not turning. Okay, we will have to have a look. I won't bore you with the usual undoing of every screw, but I found 6 screws and a different one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then one at the front here. So we can get the front off. Let's move those screws out of the way. Whether it'll just come apart, well, I can see one problem straight away. I don't think the camera will pick it up, but I can see the gear in there, the white gear is split. So even if the motor's turning, it's not going to do much. Right, I wonder if it'll come apart, or whether we have to get the wheels off the axle. I think it's going to be one of those ones we've got to get the wheels off the axles to separate it. That's going to be a pain. Yeah, I don't think we can split the body until we've separated the wheels. Well, that was quite a struggle. I did manage to get them off eventually. You can see the knurled section there that grips the inside of the wheel. You see that's a bit roughed up where I've been jamming things in to separate them. I heated them up with a hairdryer to try and soften them and loosen them a bit. I don't know if it helped, but I did eventually manage to get them off. So we've got the wheels and axles off, the front two, and I've just got the back wheel off. So we should be able to separate the halves of the bodywork. Looks like we've got to undo that one as well. There we go. So we're separated. And we can see that split gear there. So that's not going to help life. Looks to me like the motor's wet, or at least it's got white corrosion on it, or crystals. No idea what that bit does, unless it makes a noise. Yeah, that's probably the case, I expect that. Maybe. Right, I'll try and put the batteries back in and see if we can just see whether the motor works. I'm just holding the batteries in place. LED comes on. Oh, it's not an LED, little lamp. Can't hear the motor turning. Right, well, the motor unit comes out on its own. Is that going to come out? Might have to get one of these gears off to be able to separate the motor unit. I think. And to be honest, it's not going to do much with that broken gear anyway. I think we've got to get that gear off to get it apart. That one unscrews. That's all right, that's pulled off. Try and remember where all the bits go. So, there's our motor. I'll go and get a battery I can connect straight across it to check it. Right, nothing happening there. Lights on. Oh, it's starting to turn. Let's give it the full. You probably can't see what I'm doing now, can you? Yeah, motor's turning. Bit slow though. I suppose I could try lubricating it a bit. Let's have a look inside the motor. Come out. Well, it just looks dirty, to be honest. Well, it's a bit stiff. Brushes look okay. I'll put a little bit of oil on the bearing. That sounds a lot happier. So, we've lubricated the motor. I don't know what we're going to do about that split gear though. I'll see if I can get it back together as far as I can. But that one we're going to be a bit stuck on. We're up on the table, guys, so I can try and do a bit of close-up work. Honest truth, I don't think I'm going to get this back working. A couple of the gears, that's a good example. You can probably see the black split in it. This particular one I've actually put in a vise to hold it together and put super glue on it. I doubt whether that will hold, but I've done that one. This one, which is part of a sort of clutch mechanism, spring-loaded clutch. This piece has got a split right up the middle of it as well. I can get my nail in there. This is the one, the crown gear there is the one that meshes with the motor, and then the teeth in there bind with the teeth there, or mesh with the teeth there when the pressure's on it, but it can slip over if it needs to. I think one of these is supposed to stick in place, I don't know. But they're both loose, which probably means that one's probably split as well. So I don't think we're going to get the mechanics back together. I have spent quite a bit of time trying to work out how this little changeover switch works, which is operated by this forwards backwards. Now on the inside of there's two little pegs. Those little pegs there would push up against these two plates, springs, which I've got wired up to the motor and to an external battery. So that's going one way, and that's going the other way. It's quite simple the way it works. If I take all these wires off, that tag and that tag go to the battery. There's two metal plates, that plate, and there's a similar one there going the other way. And then these two springs, when they're both released, one makes contact with one plate and the other makes contact with the other plate. So let's just assume positive goes through there, makes contact with that one, so positive ends up there, negative goes through there, makes contact with that one, ends up there. When you push them in, one or the other, they make contact with the opposite plates. So when that was positive, it then makes contact with the negative plate, and when that one was negative, you push it in, it makes contact with the positive plate. Does that make sense? Well, that's how it works anyway. But they've been fairly abused, and I've actually spent probably a couple of hours trying to adjust them, spring adjust them, so that when it goes back in there, it actually works. And every time I put it back in there, it doesn't. I'll see if I can get it in there and try it. What I didn't explain is when this goes into the plastic housing, that wire makes contact with one spring, and then the other brush contact makes contact like that. That's where it sits on it. I strongly doubt that you'll be able to tell which way the motor's turning. Let's give this a try. That's anti-clockwise as you're seeing it. And that's clockwise. So that's pushing that one or that one. That one gives us clockwise as we're looking at it, and that one gives us anti-clockwise. So that'll do for now. We're a stage closer. I've put the motor and gearbox assembly back together, or this part of it. If I get it to run, right, motor runs, that gear turns, but the next gear, but I can see that this one's split as well. So, well, we'll keep going, but it's looking less and less like it's ever going to work properly. That's supposed to link up on there. Okay. Can I remember the rest of the gears? Can't remember where that one went, because that was the one that was well split. Alright, I'll carry on. On the positive side, I've just found out where that little bit of plastic comes from. That goes on a spring there, and then it goes in there. Right, so that piece goes across there. It's got a blue gear that meshes with that orange one. It's got a metal gear there, which appears to mesh with that thing. That little light was just pokes in there. That was just sort of hanging loose in there. Something like that. Okay, that's that side. Still haven't remembered where that one went. That's going to be a problem in a minute, isn't it? That one goes on there, I know that. That one looks like that goes on there. That'll be a push fit onto there. But where did that one go? That spring there would go over there, if I can get it on there the right way round. That. Right, don't need to watch the video back, I can work it out. The gear needs to be just there, which is just there on that shaft. Well, I've moved the shaft across, pushed that gear on it, which is the one that was already split, and I tried super gluing, and as soon as I pushed it on there, it split straight away. So this is a no-win situation here. Doesn't matter what I do, this is not going to work when we're finished. So I think what I'm really doing is just an exercise in, can I put it back together even though it's not going to work. Drop that one out again. Right. They're all lined up. Something just fell on the floor, don't know what that was. Right, that one goes on there, and it's turned by the edge of that. That one goes on there, and a little bubble on that, or round bit, that's turned by this sort of clover leaf shaped cam on there. That light bulb's supposed to be in there. So that's sort of getting close to back together the way it should be. And then that gear, which is split, so as soon as we try turning it, it's probably going to snap right off. But that's supposed to mesh with that green gear on the inside of the wheel there. And the other bits that are supposed to go inside, oh yeah, that bit, don't want to forget that. That goes in there. Yeah, I reckon that's all it does, it makes a little noise. Right, I think This is the the crunch when it just, nothing's going to work now. That one's missing. Oh, I slipped out that side now. How can we do that? Right. Not a chance of it working, but that's all the gears back in place. Yeah, probably just see that green gear lines up with that white gear there. Okay, I'll put some screws back in and see if we can get the wheels back on. Well, we're not quite all back together. And I can see that this is not turning. It's not going to turn. As soon as it gets round to the broken gear, where it's split, it goes out of mesh and it can't turn. So we get, is that about quarter of a turn on the wheel? Not even quarter of a turn. So all that effort and it's not going to work. Yeah, that's it, jammed up now. What a shame. Yeah. What happens if we put it in reverse? Will it go in reverse? So apart from the minor fact the wheel doesn't turn, and it's never going to turn with that broken gear, we've taken it apart. Oh, I'd better put the wheels back on before I finally say and put it all back together. I'll need to tap them through with a bit of wood, I think. Yeah, well, all back together, but it's not going to work. Well, there we go, all back together, but it's not going to work because we've got that split gear in there, which I saw right at the very beginning. It does make a noise like a train though, doesn't it? That's clever. So, if we could get a replacement gear, this will work. At the moment, it won't. So it's not job done, it's as far as I can go. Finally, if you notice there was one screw left over, it was this one. So there we go. Failure, but interesting. Oh. Not quite as much of a failure as I thought. It's obviously a bit of momentum enabling it to step over that broken gear. So 99% fail, 1% success. It's not a happy little train, is it? Those broken gears, there's nothing I can do without replacing them, and I've no idea where I could get replacements. So that's as far as we can go with this. The sharp-eyed viewers may have noticed when I originally put it back together, it was missing this little bit of blue plastic just here. That had fallen on the floor when I was taking it apart, and I'd mislaid it or couldn't find it, but I found it today, so I've put it back together, put the batteries back in just in case those gears were gripping, but they're not. So we can see all the internals turning, but the gear that drives the back wheel is split and it's not meshing with the gear on the wheel. So we're not getting any movement, which is a shame, because I'd have really liked this one to work, but I've no idea where I can get replacement gears that will actually match. So I think that's as far as we're going to go. Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily, so don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.